breaking Lena. She behind that bed 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 breaking Lena.
And this is of interest. The communities of interest. And this is of interest. The communities of interest. And this is of interest. The communities of interest. This is the community. This is the community. This is community.
What up? This your boy Crisscross 304 checking in. What a wild weekend of sports we saw this past weekend. Before we get to that, you're listening to the community with your boy Crisscross 304, and let's get the show started. Got 3 segments today. We'll break down the 76ers game versus the Toronto Raptors and how both games 3 and 4 went, and then we'll also talk about the Nuggets and Trailblazers and how those games went on both Friday and Sunday. But before we get to the 76ers and the Raptors, let's first talk about UFC Ottawa, big event, and Daniel Cerrone, the 8th seed, or the 8th ranked fighter, taking on La Quinta, the 4th ranked fighter. Well, the number 8 won. Donald the Cowboy Cerrone is undefeated now since the birth of his child. And you could see with 10 seconds left in the fight, he knew he had it won, barring a miracle knockout, and he started pointing to his family and his son, and then jumped up in there, did a kick, and then basically took La Quinta down, and the time ran out. And Cerrone got a unanimous decision at UFC Ottawa. That wasn't the only good fight. Several other good fights, like Brunson and Harris, both winning. Getting their careers back and launching going forward. So you have some big things happening in the women's bout in the prelim final or main event. Chiasson won that fight. So she's moving her way up in the women's rankings as we speak. So UFC Ottawa was a good one. But let's get to basketball because we have 2 good series to talk about today. Yesterday, the Toronto Raptors winning, you can see on the screen in front of you, 101-96. Kawhi Leonard, 39 points, 14 rebounds, 5 assists. 13 for 20 from the field in 43 minutes of play. He only sat on the bench for 5 minutes, count them 5 minutes. So how you liking that trade now with the Spurs on the sidelines? And the Raptors getting Kawhi Leonard, they're still in the playoffs. Now, last year they got to the conference finals and lost to your boy LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavs. But right now they knotted the series 2-2, headed back to Toronto. So they've gotten what they needed, a split in Philadelphia to take this thing back to Toronto and gain home court advantage. They got 2 of the next 3 games at home should it go that far. Whoever wins 2 of the next 3 will win the series. Also contributing for the Raptors, Marc Gasol with 16 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. And Kyle Lowry, 14 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists. A good game for Lowry. And you also had Serge Ibaka dishing in with 12 points, 9 rebounds, almost a double-double. And 6 of 12 from the field in 32 minutes. So you can see there that the Raptors are getting what they need as far as help. On the other end, for the 76ers, Jimmy Butler leading the way with 29 points, 11 rebounds. That's a double-double with 4 assists in 40 minutes. Also, you had J.J. Redick coming up big with some big threes at certain times with 19 points total, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 6 of 9 from the field, 4 of 7 from three-point land. So J.J. Redick stepped it up in his 35 minutes of play. Joel Embiid didn't play too well with just 11 points. He did have 8 rebounds and 7 assists, so close to a triple-double, but just not enough. Ben Simmons could play better, 10 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. He was 5 for 10 from the field in 38 minutes. So you can see there that the Raptors pretty much dominated the stats, and that's what led them to victory. The game was tied 75 all going into the fourth quarter. So you can see there that the Raptors outscored the 76ers by 5 in the fourth quarter when it really matters. So going on to get the victory, splitting the series. They also had a close game in Game 3, which the 76ers won. So this led to the tie in the series. The 76ers had a chance to really take the upper hand, go up 3-1. But in fact, that did not happen. So now the series is tied, headed back to Toronto. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with you after this. It's your boy Crisscross 304. We saved, and you're listening to the community. When we come back, we'll hear from Kawhi Leonard. Stay tuned.
We saved. We saved. We saved. We saved. We saved. I'm spitting truth, you can get it if you want to. Undress your sin, ask him it's possible. Running through the field, well equipped for battle. Praise his name, make sure it's no hassle. Don't tell a lie, he can read your mind. Say the wrong thing and it's best you hide. Feel his wrath at the end of the ride. Must be forgiven or in Christ you die. No jokes here, let's encounter the light. Keep him in view, can't lose your sight. Jesus saves lives with all his might. All his might, all his might. How do you feel after you've been saved? Like a champion who just got paid. Like a mob boss who's just been made. Like a little kid who got a good grade. Shout it out. We saved. Jump for joy. We saved. Make some noise. We saved. We saved. We saved. Shout it out. We saved. Jump for joy. We saved. Make some noise. We saved. We saved. We saved. Rise from the dead, just walk with Christ. Don't need to steal, this ain't no heist. It's all for free, there is no price. But you gotta hurry up while he's being so nice. Party time, Club H is official. You've been invited, don't be superficial. Be on time or it's unofficial. Once upon a time you were artificial. I can see the future. He wrote it, not by himself, but with some help. It all makes sense when you read it, don't it? Take your time and recite it slowly. I can take blows for the one who loves me. I can stay strong for the one and only. I can take a stand for the one who loves me. I can make moves for the one and only. Shout it out. We saved. Jump for joy. We saved. Make some noise. We saved. We saved. We saved. Shout it out. We saved. Jump for joy. We saved. Make some noise. We saved. We saved. We saved. Shout it out. We saved. Jump for joy. We saved. Make some noise. We saved. We saved. We saved. Shout it out. We saved. Jump for joy. We saved. Make some noise.
We saved. We saved. We saved. What up, what up? This your boy Crisscross 304 checking back in segment 2. We're going to hear from Kawhi Leonard and what he had to say post-game. But before we get to that, the big question in the UFC. Should Conor McGregor fight Donald Cerrone, who's on the rise, undefeated since his child was born? Dangerous fight. Should Conor McGregor take it? And they would fight in September if that would happen. And that would make UFC 240 be a big one, no doubt about it. But is that the fight that Conor McGregor wants? It's a dangerous fight, a guy that's on the rise in Donald the Cowboy Cerrone. But that's a topic of conversation when you look to the UFC. This weekend, UFC 237, Namajunas versus Andrade in a women's championship fight. So it's going to be a big one this Saturday. Before we get to segment 3 and talk about the Nuggets and Trailblazers, and there's a lot to talk about there, let's listen to what Kawhi Leonard had to say with his big 39-point performance.
Just really growing up and learning from players, watching great players, seeing how they either control the game or just playing at their own speed and not trying to be rushed by the defender. But I was fortunate enough to be on some pretty good teams early. So I was able to, see, defenses going deep playoff runs.
And what Kawhi Leonard is talking on there is experience and patience. When you have the experience in the playoffs, you can be patient. You don't have to take every shot or 4 shots. You can be patient and wait on the best shots, and he did that. That's why he knocked down some big threes, let the defense settle, came off some pick and rolls, and when he got a couple feet of space, took those threes and knocked them down at crucial times in the fourth quarter.
Just really came off a pick and roll, and just tried to stay aggressive. They end up switching. Embiid's a good defender, long. So at the time, I just looked up at the shot clock and tried to get as much space as possible.
See, when you come off those pick and rolls, sometimes the guy will try to work around the pick if they can to keep the best possible defender on Leonard. And, you see this night in and night out in the NBA. Pick and rolls are everything offensively. But when a team switches, then you have Kawhi Leonard, a master ball carrier and shooter, working against a center or a bigger player who cannot quite keep up with him, has to give him some space, has to force him to shoot because he'll drive right around that defender. And that leads to open three-point shots.
It did. I was telling them just in the past, playing in a regular season, I had times that I took those shots and they came up short. So I guess I was thinking as well at the time, just making sure I put it up high and at least get it to the back rim. And
So Kawhi Leonard talking about coming off those pick and rolls and getting those shots. And that's what you see from shooters, is aiming for the back portion of the rim. That's your best friend. It hits the back of the rim, not too hard, but it'll slide right down in through that net. So Kawhi Leonard still talking about those three-point shots or open jump shots that he's getting off of pick and rolls. And you can just say that that's good coaching, coming down, getting pick and rolls, finding ways to get your best player open. And this is, Kawhi Leonard played 43 minutes, so he's on the floor quite a bit, only getting 5 minutes of rest. And that's what you'd expect in a playoff game like this, especially when the game is as close as it is.
The last few games, I don't feel like we made shots as a team. And, game 3, we let them off the hook. They ended up scoring 116, 120 points. That's not what we do. We also didn't make shots. And, the close games that we're in are the games we won. We held them under 90 points.
Yep, and that's the key. Defense, especially in the Eastern Conference. You've seen that over the past few years. Games do not score a lot of points. You're seeing a little bit more point scoring from the East this year, especially with LeBron James and the Cavs out. 4 different teams, really, the top 4 seeds in the NBA Conference Semifinals, in the Eastern Conference, that is. Scoring a little bit more, but now you're starting to see defense buckle down, and that's why it was a 101-96 game. But that's slightly different from 90 points versus 80 points over the last few years. These 4 teams fighting, really, if you include the Bucks and the Celtics in that equation, to get to the finals, to get to the conference finals, and then get through there to the NBA Finals. Because there's no doubt, obviously with LeBron James in the Western Conference, we're going to have a new team in the NBA Finals. And I think that's making for a good NBA playoffs this year. Very, very competitive. 2 series already through Game 4, heading to Game 5, and both knotted at 2-2. And we'll get to the Trailblazers and the Nuggets next. But that was Kawhi Leonard just touching on some things like pick and rolls and things of that nature, getting open jump shots there in Game 4. This is your boy Chris Cross 304. You're listening to the community. This is Tear Down the Walls. We'll be right back with you with segment 3 following this. Stay tuned.
Fuck the devil. 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 Ayy, tear down the wall. Ayy, tear it down. Ayy, I only wanna worship one thing, that's his crown. Ayy, tear down the wall. Ayy, tear it down. Ayy, tear it down. Ayy, tear it down. Ayy, tear down the walls. Ayy, tear them down. Ayy, I only wanna worship one thing, that's his crown. Ayy, tear down the walls. Ayy, tear them down. Ayy, tear them down. Ayy, tear them down. Ayy, oh yeah. I'm a worship ladder, I don't give a fuck. Oh yeah. Fuck you motherfuckers, got a problem with it. Oh yeah. Something about your ways tell me you's a bitch. I'm bouncing up and down in your face like a pogo stick. Boing boing. Preaching about my soldier status, that's what's up. Beep beep. Chilling in my Bentley with my roof up. Beep beep. Cruising down your township, glances staring all the way to the grave. Living life for the mothership. Yeah. His blood dropping, making all the evil go away.
Hey.
Trusting in your Christ, Yahweh, he don't play.
Hey.
It's like living life on an island all day. So place your negative ways on display.
Hey, tear down the wall.
Hey,
Tear it down.
Hey.
I only wanna worship one thing, that's his crown.
Hey.
Tear down the wall.
hey,
Tear it down.
hey,
Tear it down.
hey,
Tear it down.
Hey.
Tear down the walls.
hey,
Tear them down.
Hey.
I only wanna worship one thing, that's his crown.
Hey.
Tear down the walls.
hey,
Tear them down.
hey,
Tear them down.
hey,
Tear them down.
hey.
What's your name, cuz? Where you came from? God's love is so deep, what you afraid of? What's your status say? Put your faith away. This ain't no way to live, that's what God say. Cause he planned for you, wrote the Bible for you, and he died for you, but he coming back for you. Quickly came, quickly gone till we raptured. Making plans to be gone, don't be captured. Ayy, I'm just waiting on my master. Ayy, I'm just waiting to be raptured. Ayy, I'm just waiting on my master. Ayy, I'm just waiting to be raptured. Tear down the wall.
Hey,
Tear it down.
Hey.
I only wanna worship one thing, that's his crown.
Hey.
Tear down the wall.
hey,
Tear it down.
hey,
Tear it down.
hey,
Tear it down.
Hey.
Tear down the walls.
hey,
Tear them down.
hey.
I only wanna worship.
What up, what up? This is your boy Crisscross 304 checking back in. You're listening to the community episode number 9. And we're getting to the big series between the Nuggets and the Trailblazers. If you didn't see Game 3 on Friday night, 4 overtimes. Count them, 4 overtimes. Unbelievable game. Players, all kinds of tired. The Trailblazers get the win in that game and have to come back in less than 48 hours and play a Game 4. And guess what? It was a 4-point game last night. Nuggets pulled it out 116 to 112, just like the Raptors. And they got home court advantage back in a now best of two out of 3 series coming up. Very possible we'll see a couple Game 7s in these 2 series if things continue to play out in the way that they have thus far. So the series is tied 2-2, and you have some players that had really good games last night for the Nuggets. Murray, 34 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists in 38 minutes. Nikola Jokic, 21 points, 12 rebounds, 11 assists. That's a triple-double, and that's what you need from Jokic. Scoring points, getting to the free throw line, getting rebounds, and passing the ball off when defenders crash to him underneath the basket. Also, Millsap, 21 points, 10 rebounds, and he had no assists, but he still had a double-double there. And you don't really see Millsap get many assists anyway, but he's a contributor, and he did that last night. But they had 5 players in double digits when you include Harris with 14 points, 5 rebounds, and then you also include Barton off the bench with 11 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, doing a good job contributing there. And the Trailblazers fought to the end, making a couple big threes to keep the game very close in a wild frenzy crowd in Portland last night. On the other end, McCollum, 29 points, 5 rebounds. Lillard, 28 points, 3 rebounds, 7 assists. Also, Aminu, the power forward for the Trailblazers, 19 points, 8 rebounds. So, and then you also look at Seth Curry with 16 points, 3 rebounds in 27 minutes for him. And, your boy Crisscross 304 personally is rooting for the Trailblazers because I want to see a Curry versus Curry matchup to go to the finals. I think that would be exciting. But make no mistake, if the Nuggets can move on, they'll be a good test for the Warriors as well. But the question is, can anyone stop the Warriors? The best chance to do that is obviously the Rockets, and they'll play in Game 4 tonight. The Rockets pulling out Game 3 in overtime, barely doing so, but that's got to give them a little momentum now going into Game 4. You can get this win, and you've already played Golden State very closely in the first 2 games, so anything is possible if the Rockets can get the win tonight. Also, flipping back to the Eastern Conference, you have the Celtics, Bucks. The Bucks starting to dominate the series now in the last 2 games. But if you're the Celtics, you still got a home game tonight. The Bucks have home court advantage back, but if you get a win tonight, it'll knock the series 2-2. And how wonderful would it be for the NBA to have 4 series tied at 2-2? That'll start to get more viewers and things of that nature because with LeBron James out of the playoffs, the ratings are down, of course. But things are starting to heat up in the NBA conference semifinals and the NBA playoffs as a whole. So as we go forward, we'll keep an eye on these things, but it's starting to get very, 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 very exciting if you're watching NBA playoffs. That's the show today. This your boy Crisscross 304. You're listening to the community, and we'll leave you with our theme song, if you will. This your boy Crisscross 304, and you're listening to the community. Holla back.
Bed breaking right now. Should be hand up bed breaking right now. Should be hand up bed breaking right now. Should be hand up bed breaking right now. Should be hand up.
This is of interest. And this is of interest. The communities of interest. And this is of interest. The communities of interest. And this is of interest. The communities of interest. This is of interest. The community. This is the community. This is community. 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 Community.